So the memorial plaque is a very key part of the Inclusive Futures program. During the creation of Inclusive Futures, we consulted extensively with over 200 Black and ethnically diverse colleagues from the market and a panel of Black experts. What became really clear was that the artistic response was incredibly important. It took from the corporate right to the emotional, and it allowed people to connect with a subject which has been taboo for far too long. It speaks of being transparent about your history and learning the lessons from it. And Inclusive Futures as a program is all about what we do to change the face of the market for years and years to come. The original idea from the plaque came from our focus group outputs. Lloyd's archivist identified a number of artists that we might be able to work with to bring that to life. And that's when we found both Gloria and Marcia. And it's been a really interesting process getting the plaque from the initial thinking right to what we're going to see today.
I was invited by Lloyd to respond materially to its history in the context of the Underwriting Souls project, a Mellon Foundation and Johns Hopkins University-funded research initiative. It was undertaken by Black Beyond Data with Dr. Alexander White. The archives confirm that this marketplace insured and underwrote the ships, cargo, and enslaved lives trafficked across the Atlantic. For me, it was important that this history was not left in ledgers, but acknowledged here in the Lloyd's building, permanently on a memorial plaque in the most visible and enduring form.
What was agreed to be inscribed on stone was always going to be difficult, a delicate negotiation. Through these months of discussion, I was always aware that the power over the final wording did not rest with me. But that in itself became part of the struggle over language, over who gets to define truth.
The very fact that Lloyds were putting up their hand to say, look, this is our history, and we want to acknowledge this, I thought, wow, I've got to be involved with that. I do draw all my letters out by hand in a very old school way, but I do everything on paper. Once the layout is approved on paper, then I get to transfer onto stone. And then I work from the base and work my way up when I'm cutting the letters. You don't even focus on the words when you're cutting. You're focusing on individual letters, and then sometimes you're even just focusing on just individual strokes. And then you step back, and then you've got a word, and then you step back again, you've got a line, then you step back and you've got a chunk of wording, and then you think, okay, we're rocking and rolling.
This plaque is not abstract for me. It's a matter of ancestry, dignity, and truth-telling. It's also part of reparative work that many have been doing for years against institutional delay.
In stone, in wood, metal, having that permanence, those materials, people need to see these memorials for their longevity and for future generations.
External scholars have traced the evidence, but it was Lloyd's itself who commissioned this plaque. That matters. It shows that institutions can choose to face their past materially, not just in reports, but in public acts of memory. That it won't just be symbolic. That future Lloyd's underwriters, visitors, and leaders, whether in the boardroom or classroom, on passing through, will stop, read, and reckon.
I hope I have helped to be a descendant conduit to that truth.
It's fabulous, and I hope that a lot of other companies now follow suit.
From guilds to town halls, from museums to banks, will know that our history is written here too, and it cannot, will not be erased.